right, welcome to another episode of Staying Power, a show that is all about building a better life in all the ways that we mean building a better life. That's what we talk about on this show. Every single week, we come together to talk about just one element of that, and we hope that it resonates with you. And by we mean myself, JDK Winnikin, and next to me today, really right next to me today for the second week in a row, my co-host, my friend, my colleague, my co-producer, Ashley Knievel. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
I know, and we do look a little different on the live stream today as opposed to normally, right? Normally
Sure.
we're across the table. Yeah. We're sitting next to each other because again this week we have a guest, and we're going to get right back to that conversation in a minute. But just a quick reminder, if you end up missing any of this episode or any of the other episodes of Staying Power, you can catch this as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And in the show notes for those episodes, you can find all the information you need to communicate directly with Ashley and myself. That means our Instagram, our other social media feeds, our email address, stayingpowershow@gmail.com, as well as our Patreon site where you can support our larger work. And of course, we now live stream the show on our YouTube channel and on Instagram. So lots of different places where you can see us, listen to us, get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. So with that out of the way, we're excited once again to welcome back to the show for a continued conversation our friend Deena Mehta. Welcome back, Deena, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So happy to have you. Now, if you missed last week's episode, we really encourage you to go back and listen to that first hour of the conversation, because in that conversation, we introduced you to Deena, and Deena is a very well-known figure in her native country of India. She was instrumental in helping modernize its economy. She was the first woman to be the vice president and then president of a stock exchange in India. This one is the Bombay Stock Exchange. And she's been instrumental in helping bring about modernization reforms in the country that have helped propel that country to really an amazing meteoric success over the last couple of decades. So we talked about that last time, all with the spirit of like figuring out how does one help build a better life for an entire country. And we got a lot of that last time. But what I picked up on, Ashley, was certainly for you, Deena, to have that conviction and be able to follow through on that. These must all be things, building a better life, that must also be very personal to you. And so this week, I think we'd like to focus on is some of your thoughts on these things, on what individuals can do and what you've learned for over the course of your career and your travels. You've been to over 50 different countries. You've met lots of people from lots of walks of life. So I think that's where I would like to start and kind of focus on today. So with that in mind, one of the things I was wondering last week when you were talking about this, I know you mentioned last week people learning financial literacy from a very young age. That was something that was important to you, important in your family. I also know you've helped out a lot of women through different organizations you've been a part of that you've supported, learn more financial literacy as well as other things. Can you tell us a little bit about that work, and how does that fit with your own personal view of growth?
Yeah, see, at a very macro level, I mean, I have been a firm believer that whatever prosperity happens in the stock market, it should go to every household.
Right.
I mean, the kind of effort that has gone, the kind of money that has gone into creating the infrastructure, which is, I feel, is one of the world's best infrastructures.
Mm-hmm.
And the pressure which is there on, say, Indian Railways, how many people use Indian Railways, and or the postal system or the banking system. Compared to that, the number of people who use the stock market systems is much lesser than what it ought to be. In USA, if we see, almost 40, 50, 60% of the citizens, they invest in mutual funds or in various investment products. Whereas if we look at India, we have a population of 140 plus crores, and that will be about 14,1,400 million numbers. And if we look at that population and we look at the number of investors who are there, we have hardly 5% of the entire country's population is engaged in the investment activity.
Oh, 5%.
5%.
Okay.
So, which is, according to me, a very, very low figure, especially in a country like India, where we do not have the kind of social security systems which you have in USA.
Mhm.
You have a very good social security system where a person will get a, if he is jobless, he will get a payment from the government, that is the insurance for being a jobless. If you are sick, you have got very good medical systems which are there. If you are retired, the government takes care of you. So these kind of systems which are there in India, the amount of Mr. Modi is trying to introduce various insurance schemes and pension schemes, but they are not because a pension scheme you get it out of the organized sector. And how many people are employed in the organized sector? About 7 to 8%. Rest all of the people are in the unorganized sector. If they are in unorganized sector, they don't count, except for various kinds of subsidies which the government gives, which are far meager, and not everybody it would reach. Though now the delivery systems are much better due to UPI and other payment systems which have come into India. So I firmly believe that making investments in financial assets is very, very important. And I feel that a large population of the country is missing out on this opportunity of using world class systems and products which have been created in India. And thanks to our SEC, which is equivalent Securities and Exchange Board of India, that the whole marketplace, so far as operational and other risks are concerned, is virtually zero.
Mm.
So in such an environment, lot more people should be participating in the capital markets, in the financial markets. So that is something I feel is the larger good that we all need to work for. We need to educate. So I have traveled across the country. I have done huge amount of education programs, and there are a lot of other people also making those efforts.
Mhm.
So I often tell that the SEBI chairman, as a KPI, key performance indicator, they always talk, they are regulator. They are not just regulators, they also have duty to develop the markets.
Mhm.
So it is not just regulations. If they have to develop the markets, then the footprint of the market should be much bigger. Many more number of people have to be engaged into the markets. They must be taught how to invest, and they should their financial futures will be secured if they have a good investment portfolio, no matter how small. You see,
Mhm.
the basic belief of people about savings is very odd. What people think,
Mhm.
income minus expense is equal to saving. Actually it is income minus saving which should be expense.
Oh, I
So
see.
Mm.
every month you must put away certain amount
Oh.
before you engage in other expenses.
Mhm.
Then automatically you will know what is available for expense, and you will try to regulate your expenses. So this understanding is very important, and making people invest is something which is, I feel, as my life's mission also. And I feel that the strongest force which can be really mobilized into doing this activity are women. So
Mm.
I feel women must participate into the entire process of financial planning. And
Mhm.
I often say, you see, in Indian mythology, we have Lakshmi, who is the goddess of wealth,
Mm.
and we have got Saraswati, who is the goddess of knowledge. Now, both these knowledge and wealth, both are women. So I say that genetically you have it in you. Okay, you have it in you to
Mhm.
be to have the knowledge and to be a wealth creator. See,
Mhm.
women are very good at maintaining managing their household budgets. The
Mhm.
husband gives X amount of salary or
Mhm.
whatever
Mhm.
income he earns. If the woman is not working, then she will manage within whatever money is given to her every month. On top of it, she will save also.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So if that is the case, then I feel women need to be lot more involved in financial planning. And I feel investments is nothing but common sense. But
Mhm.
what happens with people, if you go to buy a dress, you will look at so many colors, You will spend so many hours, you will look at the price, you look at the material, you look at the style, everything you will do. And you will spend 3 4 hours to maybe buy a 200 $300 dress. But when it comes to buying stocks, people just go on hearsay. They may invest some $5,000 because my cousin's brother's friend told me that this is worth buying.
She's not
so
wrong.
He's not
so
wrong.
so this is what the basic common sense. It's a common sense approach. I
Mhm.
mean, how difficult it is to understand. You have to, of course, spend maybe 1 hour every day, look at the market update, look at the basic stocks which are doing well, or what are the other investment options where you can get a fixed return, or mutual funds. You don't understand stocks, go to mutual funds. But there are so many options which are available, which I feel involvement of women into the whole process of financial planning, managing family budgets, would, I feel, make a big contribution. Because which is the biggest minority in any country?
Mhm.
It is the
Mhm.
women.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's the biggest minority.
Yep.
So if women take part into these things, I feel that the country can do a lot better,
Mhm.
because you have really empowered so many women to join.
Mhm.
And the families will be much happier, and they will be in a better state of mind. Because see,
Mhm.
all stress, we may think money is not important in life. Some may think so. Some say, oh, I have enough money. Or somebody say, I have no money, I don't care for money. I'm living my life. I get 2 meals a day. No, money is very important in life.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and that money has to be constant. You have to grow that money. And in order to grow that money, enough investment options are available. So you should go after them and try to see that your family's finance is financially secure, not just by your husband is earning the money every month, you're spending whatever remains, you go for a show, or you do something, or go on a vacation, money is over, then you have to again collect it for the next event in your life. Instead of living from event to event like that, you save and see to it that you have money available for everything at all points of time, and that is
Mhm.
only by making good investments.
I love that. Ashley, you look fired up.
I'm really well, I think this is so important. I'm really glad we're talking about this because there's not a lot of this intentional education out there. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to go find it and invest your time in it, of course, but I I really appreciate you speaking about this, and I wish and hope that there will be more of this coming from women to show other future women that this is important. You should take some time to really invest your intentions and your knowledge base on this and to grow this because this will compound. We're not getting taught growing up to do anything like this.
Yes.
And I
Mhm.
really hope that we can teach our future generation to look at this and become smarter and wiser with their decisions when it comes to this.
Yeah, and as you said last week, the earlier that families can introduce this to their children, the better, because
Better
then it becomes a normal part of their functioning,
part of
like
their
learning
life.
to do their
Mhm.
chores, going to school, getting their homework done, and then
And putting
you
a SIP,
bring you're
putting
right.
in a
Yep.
systemic investment plan every month.
Yeah.
You know that, out of the X I earn, so much money will first go for the SIP.
I love that.
And then whatever is remaining, I will spend.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that kind of thought process, getting your insurances, having adequate life insurances,
Mhm.
all these things are so much important. And in countries like US, where you have so many health programs and all, in India we have to rely only on medical insurance
Mhm.
for the
Mhm.
purpose. Now government has introduced one scheme, but still, if you want high quality, you want to go in good hospitals, you need your own insurance, which
Mhm.
is something you need to save for. and
Mhm.
and even your life insurance, to you, how much insurance do you take? Not what premium I can afford right now, but
Mhm.
what is my remaining working life, how much am I going to earn out of that, and will I secure my family with that much amount of money? So you may go for, instead of going for renewal plans, you may go for a term plan, which is
Mhm.
one time payment you make every year. And
Mhm.
then if anything happens to you, the family gets enough money to see through. Because life after death, it is
Mhm.
Mhm.
not just for the older generation, for everybody. I mean, life after death, whatever financial assets you have created, secured, whatever you have done, that has to get passed on properly.
Mhm.
And that life after death, if you think about, then very small things you have to do. I mean, the power of compounding is so huge.
Mhm.
Only one principle you want to teach your children for their life to be comfortable, that is the power of compounding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you teach them how much power is there in compounding, then they will understand the importance of putting every month money in
Mhm.
SIP,
Mhm.
saving something or the other. And
Mhm.
if it grows, it really grows. I
Yeah.
mean, it will grow in a geometrical progression, which is what they need to learn. And irrespective of what happens to the markets or whatever, continuous saving is going to give them good this. So I would say the biggest legacy you can leave for your children is the knowledge and the value and importance of compounding.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's interesting because when I think about these specifics, I hear you continuing to come time and time again to things like intentionality,
Correct.
the intention of following
Correct.
through, patience to let things compound,
Yes.
right? Both those things fit
Yes.
in, right? Taking self-responsibility,
Yes.
engaging with your own potential and
Correct.
possibility. And I can see how for the women you work with and that you talk to and you do these programs for, how exciting that must be for them to hear that they can do something now.
Yes.
It's not down the line.
Correct.
It's not far off in the distance. It doesn't matter where they are in their station in life or where their stage of life is. They can start doing this now. That's got to be really powerful. It's powerful for, I would think, any
Mhm.
woman to hear, but certainly in the country you're coming from with so many disparities, right, in wealth.
No,
It's got to
and
be powerful.
there are products available where, as low as 2,500 rupees, you
Wow.
can buy
Hmm.
an ETF, gold ETF, or even
Really?
500 rupees, you can buy a gold ETF. I mean, how low, how much less money you need to become an
Mhm.
investor?
Mhm.
Even with
Wow.
500 rupees every month, if you are putting in gold, my son, with a gold bond scheme was launched by the government. Within 7 years, his gold doubled.
Wow.
Wow.
And in India, there is a very strong, this to collect gold for their daughters. Now,
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
you buy gold instead of that, if you can buy a financial asset, which is a gold ETF, then
Mhm.
Mhm.
there is no fear of getting inferior quality of gold or any of these things. And that financial asset you can pledge anytime if you want to raise a loan, if there is a medical emergency or anything, it would be useful. So all
Mhm.
these things are very important, which we all need to understand. And fortunately, the stock markets have got real estate shares, they have got gold, they have got metal shares, they have got all kinds of assets which are there, those you can buy shares on the stock market. So
Mhm.
any class of asset that you feel like, it can be converted into a stock, and you
That's
can buy that.
fantastic.
That's amazing. This is so good. I'm so glad we brought you back for another week. Let's take a quick break, our first break of the day, and we'll come back and talk more with Deena Mehta about all the different ways you can build a better life in ways that are actually really accessible right now. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to discover remarkable stories of resilience and cultural connection? This is Diaspora, a show sharing the journeys of first-generation immigrants from the Indian subcontinent now building their lives in North America. Inspiring, insightful, and always engaging, Diaspora offers a unique perspective on the immigrant experience. Join me, Aditya Mehta, my guests, on the Diaspora Show every Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on KKNW.
If you're 19 or older with certain underlying medical conditions such as asthma or diabetes, you can get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're 65 or older, it is also recommended you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, no matter the season. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protectyourself. A message from the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
Wherever you go, Alternative Talk 1150 is here for you.
Welcome back to Staying Power. This is JD here with Ashley.
Hi.
Hi, laughing at me as usual. And we are here again this week with our special guest, Deena Mehta, who is just giving us so much. I know Ashley and I are
Mhm.
the wheels are really turning. So
I'm gonna be
for
going back and re-listening to this episode, taking notes.
right, right. And what's really exciting about what we're hearing is, of course, that all the things that Deena is talking about are all accessible for anybody at any time to learn right
Mhm.
away, right? And that's such a part of what this show is about. So, Ashley, I know you've got a lot of thoughts going on. I want to know where you want to go with this next. Certainly, the thing on compounding seemed to
I was
really.
gonna say there was a theme of compounding, but it was within financial realm and success, before the break. But I think you have so many other facets in your life. You are really strongly passionate about, like, and the theme of our show of having a better life and creating a better life. And I don't think that means just financially. I know that means within health and your relationships and the culture that you cultivate within your family, your home, and your community. What what have you done or do you feel really passionately strong about to create a good culture and to create a compounding health and success?
I think first we'll start with health. I mean, I have slogged like anything. I have traveled, 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 and I was totally uh, not taking care of my health. I'll be
Mhm.
honest. So, whatever I talk about health, relationship, everything, I have been through the worst phase. I have learned and I have come out of it.
Mm.
So, don't feel I'm like this only. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay.
everything I have been through the whole learning treadmill, and then I have come out of it. So like health also, I was extremely my feet used to be swollen like anything because I traveled and traveled and traveled. I traveled all over the world. I traveled all over the country. I traveled from my office to this. First we were staying at a place where the office was away. Then we moved our house closer to the office, but we moved the office away from the house. Okay.
She's
So
still walking.
in
Mhm.
the process, like I travel 1 hour. Earlier it used to be 50 minutes for going and about 1 hour 10 minutes for coming back. Now it is 1 hour 15 minutes to reach and 1 hour 30 minutes to come back.
Wow.
So this traveling has been a lot of strain on my life,
Sure.
I would say. And I am a big foodie, so I would so wherever I went, I would make a thorough inquiry. I had some friends who were also traveling like me and who were foodies. So he'll say, in this particular village or this location, this and this thing is available. So never bothered about how many calories being
Mhm.
consumed and
Right.
all these things. So I have been I put on lot of weight. Of course, then I went through the corona also. In that also I added weight. So then about 3 4 years ago, I said, I'm not enjoying life. I cannot dress up, like today, what clothes I have worn. I
Mhm.
wouldn't think of wearing them because I was so fat and I had so
Hmm.
much, nearly 100 kilos of weight.
Mm.
And then I said, this is not how I want to live. If I want to enjoy life, I should, if I want to dress well, to eat whatever. So
Mhm.
I went on a drastic weight reduction. This and I lost 22 kilos of weight, and I'm
Wow.
still
Wow.
in the process. And then I realized that having a good health is something you really have if you want to enjoy life.
Mhm.
So I feel that and of course, two things are important. One is input and output. So how
Mhm.
much you eat and
Mhm.
how many calories you burn.
Mhm.
So these input output, if you can maintain, then it is easier to maintain the this. So last I would say for a couple of months I am off the diet. I
Mhm.
am but still I have managed to maintain because this consciousness. And then somebody would say, oh, you are dieting, how long will you diet? Moment you stop, I think you have to accept it, that what suits your body and what doesn't suit it,
Mhm.
it has to be a way of life forever. You have
Yeah.
to
Yes.
alter your lifestyle
Mhm.
and see to it that if even if you are a foodie, you may eat, at least the quantity can be controlled.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you have a strict control on. So if 10 things you like, just eat one and just eat just enough, so that you don't feel hungry.
Mhm.
So that is eat less than 80% of what your hunger is. So these kind of things are drastic changes in life, habits of eating habits, sleeping habits. Fortunately, I am a very good sleeper, so I don't have any problem Moment I lie down, my bed beat 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I'll
Mhm.
fall asleep within 10 minutes. So having a good sleep and
Mhm.
having your at least food, if you can control, how much exercise you can do.
Mhm.
I am a good swimmer. I have my style sucks, but I have very high stamina. So I can sleep. I can swim 30 rounds, 40 rounds very easily.
Oh,
40
Oh,
wow.
laps
wow.
I can do. Then I got a physical trainer. So then I said, "Oh, physical training is good, but let me add spice to it." So I started learning dancing. So I
Nice.
learned dancing.
Wow.
So that way, I know enjoying what I am doing. I
Mhm.
think those things are very important, and that is and a lot of people say, "Arey, time, I don't have time. I am I go to office, I am so exhausted." But I have come to this conclusion that you cannot do anything in the evening. Whatever is to be done in relation to your health, you should do it in the morning only,
Mm.
Ah.
because that is the time which you have full control on. So
Mhm.
I get up by 5:30, I am up and ready. And
Mm.
Mhm.
5:30 my day starts, and 5:30 to 8 is my time. So then I
Nice.
will do physical exercises, I will do spiritual chanting, I will write, I will read good things. All these things I
Mhm.
do between say 5 to 8. That is the time slot that I have allotted to myself. So anybody desirous of doing some physical exercise, running, walking, swimming, I think morning time is the best time
Mhm.
for doing whatever, and
Mhm.
automatically you will fall asleep at 10 o'clock if you have done some amount of
Mhm.
exercise.
Yep.
But if you think I'll come home and then I will do, then it's very difficult, unless
Mhm.
you are able to leave your office at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Maybe in US it is possible, in India it is not. Those kind of timings people don't
Mhm.
have. Here people may come at 7 o'clock and go away early, but in India
Mhm.
generally things start around 9 to 10. So by the time you leave office it is 6, 5, 6.
Right.
And then there is a commute,
Mhm.
so you'll reach your house at 7 or 8. After that, to do anything is very difficult. So
Wow.
I think that the morning hour is something you should devote to your health and
Mhm.
to everything, because you want to enjoy life. Then I think having a good health is very important. I mean,
Sure.
and I landed up with blood pressure, diabetes, everything because of the weight post corona. I
Mhm.
had everything, and I am happy to say that I have managed to get out of all the medicines and everything
Oh, that's
Wow.
amazing.
because of this regime that I
Mhm.
have set up for myself. So I think one is health is very important. Second thing is about how you lead your life. That also contributes a lot to your health, your happiness, to your relationships, and everything. And in that, I strongly feel that being honest about everything that you do is very important. I mean,
Mhm.
integrity, is extremely, extremely important in everything that you do. Be
Mhm.
it a simple relationship with your own family, be it relationship with your work people, or be if you are a business, like I have been in business for 40 years, and and all these things, they percolate down to all the people. Like in my office, the smallest, even the peon who is a helper in the office, he will tell you, we do not allow our customers to speculate. I
Mm.
Hmm.
mean, so all along, though the derivatives market is 95% of the overall market, only 5% is cash market, which is the investment segment. But in my office, we are in active in that 5% segment,
Okay.
because we don't want people to speculate.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm.
what our value system is. And because it is our value system, everybody down the line, no, none of my front office staff will talk to any customer and say that we will you can speculate. And then you take additional steps to see to it that you maintain your value system. Like for example, my brokerage rates are higher than normal.
Mhm.
Why? Because if I have too low brokerage rates, then people tend to frequently trade, and because they want low brokerage rates, they want to trade frequently. I have stricter risk management system. I charge higher margins. So if I were to just say that I am I am not offering speculation, but at the same time, I do offer leveraging, I offer low margins, I offer low brokerage. Then what I am speaking, that is, don't speculate, and what I am doing, there is no congruence between the two. So,
Mhm.
what you think, what you speak, and what you do, all
Mhm.
three have to be in synergy.
Mm.
So all your steps, everything that you do, it should culminate in what your value system is.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
So that is very, very important. And that I must say, my husband has been very emphatic about these principles. And we have managed to institutionalize it. See, it is important that every value system or whatever you have to
Mhm.
institutionalize it. Be it your family also. If you are telling lies in front of your son, okay, and your son knows you are telling lies,
Mhm.
Mhm.
then you have not institutionalized it. He knows dad is saying something, he's doing something.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so institutionalizing of values is very, very important for anybody's well-being. So be it family, be it your office staff, be it your business, be it your customers, be it your vendors, with everybody, and I know, like last year, two vendors, they didn't charge me for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And then they came saying
Whoops.
that, oh, we didn't raise bills for 3 years. I said, how can you go to sleep for 3 years? Why should I pay you? They said,
Mhm.
no, no, we know that you will always honor your commitments. So,
Oh, wow.
so, so I, of course, I paid to both of them for three
Mhm.
years old. I
Mhm.
in fact, in income tax, you cannot debit old expenses, and
Mhm.
I suffered some income tax loss also. But they had full faith in me that over here there will be no cheating. So they showed me it's a genuine mistake, and the person had changed and what emails they had shared. They gave me a full audit trail of why the thing happened, and I paid to them. So,
Mhm.
Mhm.
so I think maintaining integrity and honesty in all your
Mhm.
relationships is again very important thing for your mental peace of mind. And this is something I have practiced all along.
Mhm.
Always I have practiced this, that we cannot have absence of integrity in anything.
Mhm.
So this makes our life much easier.
Mhm.
We don't have to remember what I told this person, this what I told
Right.
this,
Right.
what facade I make. And I
Mhm.
think what we have accepted is really that what God gives us is more than what you need and more than what you deserve.
Ooh,
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
so
that is
it's
good.
important. You believe that now, then all your life is as it is straight. It is very straight and simple,
Mhm.
because what you have got. I mean, as it is, you only if you compare with your neighbor, you feel you have less.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you have enough to eat. You have a roof over your head.
Mhm.
You can get yourself transported. You have your own car.
Mhm.
Okay, you are able to meet the needs of your family, and
Mhm.
they also, we have to keep them, like my both my sons, I used to put one board in my house, and what I did, I would put in one box 25,000 rupees, and I would tell my son, everybody is free to take money from this box, only thing you write down for what you are using it,
Hmm.
and once the money is over, it will be replenished only next month. So
Ah,
if the
Hmm.
money is over by 20th, then 10 days you have no choice to buy
right.
anything.
Right.
Okay, if it is by 25th, so in first 2-3 months it used to get over by 25th,
Mhm.
because there was this new sense of freedom. I can just take the money and spend.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then so you'll buy pizza, you'll buy this, you'll buy that, and then 10 days you have nothing.
Mhm.
So then there used to be money left over after a couple
Oh.
of months,
Oh.
because they realize that there is a freedom, but there is a responsibility which is attached to it.
Mhm.
So would the money then compound? It would stay,
Yes,
it would keep
yes,
It'll
adding
just
up.
yes.
roll
Then
over
it
into the
kept
next
Just
on
month.
roll
adding
over.
up.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a really
So
good lesson
this
for
is
children.
this is
It
a
is.
thing which I did with both my children. So
Mhm.
that there was a green board in our house. So anybody would take. Otherwise, they would. I tell you, our attitude to money is very, very important in life. Like
Mhm.
Mhm.
my father, he used to be very strict with giving money. So if I asked him 100 rupees, he will ask 1,000 questions and give me 10 rupees. So when I started making money and my husband was making a lot of money,
Mhm.
What happened was that, my attitude to money was, oh, I've got a lot of money, let me spend, let me spend. That was my attitude to money.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
fortunately, he was making a lot of money, but at the same time I was having a middle class mentality. So
Mhm.
there's only so much I could spend. There was not so much I could spend.
Right.
So that was my attitude to money. So what I felt is that when I pass it on to
Mhm.
my children should not feel the fear of not having money.
Mm.
Okay. So when I put that 25,000, they know that money is available. So I
Mhm.
can pick it up at any point of time whenever I want. But then slowly, when the money got over early, they began to realize ki, no, if I want to, satisfy myself over next 10 days, then there is no money. I better, space it out, whatever
Mhm.
I'm doing.
Mhm.
So that attitude to money is something that we all need to understand and to spread it around our families. Very often either we are too strict or we are too liberal. Then the attitude to money is you don't have respect for money. So
Mhm.
creating that respect for money is very important.
Oh, man. That once again, intentionality,
Mhm.
patience, foresight, right? Consideration. I mean, these are all things. And these are all the things you're talking about. Ashley and I are smiling big because we talk about these on the show all the time. But I
Mhm.
can't think of any better examples that we've ever come
No,
up with than what we just got.
these are great.
Yeah, these are awesome. All right. So let's take one more break. And when we come back, we'll finish up this absolutely fantastic conversation with our guest, Deena Mehta. We'll be back in just a second.
Don't ask me to talk.
There's a lot of talk out there. Political talk, sports talk, girl talk, trash talk, and so on. But there's only one, Don't Ask Me to Talk, helmed by conversational off-roaders and podcast pals Eric Ryder and Stacey Heller. They follow every tangent they encounter, from cultural blind spots to their infamous weekly Wheelo topics. Listen wherever you listen to your fave podcasts. Subscribe and share too. Or tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. or Tuesday at 4 p.m. on KKNW.
As a teacher, I should know the answers, but with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, answers don't come easy. Steroids made my gut feel better, but they brought symptoms and risks of their own. A friend told me about the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and they helped me find a specialist. We talked through the pros and cons and landed on a new treatment. I feel like the guy with answers again. Don't wait. Make sure you have the latest info and the best plan for you. Spill your guts. Learn more at spillyourguts.org.
Conversation you won't find on the rest of the dial. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Staying Power. JD here with Ashley. And of course, joining us in studio once again this week is Deena Mehta. And we're covering a whole lot of ground. And thank you so much for sharing all of your life wisdom with us. I know we're getting a lot out of it. And I know our listeners are too. One area we wanted to really ask you about too was you're also really active besides everything else you've already talked about. You're also really have been active in a lot of social work. I mentioned last episode that you've done a lot of work in helping with disaster relief and things like that. I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that, and then what motivates you with all of that, and what have you learned that you think our listeners would be interested in knowing about with that?
See, first is on the social front, there are many things that I have done. What you talked about is the earthquake and the tsunami which happened, which were rehabilitation projects. When in 2001 there was an earthquake in Gujarat, it was a
Mhm.
massive earthquake, and the stock exchange brokers decided to give 1 paisa, that is 1 cent per trade done.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and we collected about 70 million rupees. And then I spent at least 30 visits to the entire earthquake affected area.
Mm.
And
Wow.
we had with us the first lady IAS officer of India, one Mrs. Anna Malhotra. She came along and we identified projects which required rehabilitation help. So we ended up entire village of 270 homes. We
Mm.
reconstructed it. Of course, we got money from several sources. Then we constructed a school. We constructed a center for women, hostel for women. We also organized these buses to go from the hostel to the school, hostel to the college.
Mm.
So all that work we did. And when tsunami happened, again we did a project. We constructed about 60 houses of the tsunami affected region. And the third project we did along with this was, there are about in the Bhuj area, where which is the north of Gujarat, which is one of the states in India. There are about 900 odd villages. So
Wow.
I had a team of about 15 people, and they had 3 4 hub and spoke kind of a thing. So they set up 3 4 hubs, and they went and surveyed each and every village to find out how many physically challenged people are there in each of the villages. And we got about 5,000 people who were physically challenged. We got them on camps, in about 6 locations we had camps, and about 550 of them we operated them and straightened their legs and polio legs and
Oh, wow.
put braces, and
Hmm.
we had almost 450 people walking. Though
Wow.
we did
Wow.
550 operations, 100 people, they didn't take adequate physiotherapy care and other things. So I am happy that 450 people could walk
Yeah.
because of this. So
Mhm.
That's
this
cool.
entire work
Mhm.
that we did, it led me to being associated with other projects. So
Mhm.
one I'm associated with a school of about 7,000 girls. So these are only
Hmm.
girls. It's a 62-year-old school, and I am the chairperson. And it was inaugurated by Kasturba Gandhi, that is wife of Mahatma Gandhi. So she
Okay.
was
Mhm.
yeah, instrumental
Wow.
it is in her name and her family, they did it. So what among teaching, we have right from KG play group
Mhm.
till training teachers to be like training women to be teachers. So till then, plus any another important thing we do is we look after orphans. So after the Gujarat earthquake, we had about 150 children who were orphans, girls.
Wow.
So we took them on. Even after the COVID, we got 70 girls whose both parents died, and those
Oh,
girls were
Oh,
alone.
goodness.
So all these, and plus there are abandoned children. People give
sure.
birth to children, they abandon on doorsteps here there. So we set up we are government recognized adoption center. So
Hmm.
this is a big work that we do over there.
Mhm.
Then I am also associated with a spiritual organization which is close to my house. It is Prempuri Ashram. It is called. We have almost 4,000 activities a year, and the main
Wow.
activity is basically to teach the Bhagavad Gita, which is 365 days a year that we have. And this Bhagavad Gita has had lot of influence on my life,
Yes.
at least in the last decade.
Mhm.
I went through a course on Bhagavad Gita, and in there were 30 lessons in this
Mm.
course. So the entire 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita were divided into 30 lessons,
Mhm.
and each lesson you had to write an exam.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
and in each exam, you had to list at least 10 things you will change in your life having
Oh,
learnt this
What?
chapter. Yes.
wow.
And I listed 240 things which I needed to change in my life.
Holy cow.
And over 4 year period, I made all those changes in my life. And they included small things like getting angry on various kinds of people. And despite being, of high integrity, of high, moral values, but every day, if you sit down for 10 minutes before going to sleep and think, did I hurt somebody? Did I learn something? Did I do something positive? Did I do something negative? And believe me, that habit of reviewing every day, next day morning, my phone call would go to the person.
Ah.
Okay.
Mm.
Telling them that what I am sorry, I told you this. See, many times people are wrong. Many times they are wrong.
Yep.
But at the same time, how you communicate with them, how you tell them, and that is very very important. So hurting their feelings, like
Mhm.
I have given lot of talks on how you treat women in workplace.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been on some cases also where sexual harassment case, if it is there in the company, I am the chairman of the sexual harassment committee. And if you hurt a person, you may whatever be your intention, but if the other person is hurt, then you jolly well apologize to that person.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
See, your intention, whatever it is, that person has wrongly taken what you have said, whatever it is. But still, emotionally, if you have hurt the person, it is your duty to go and apologize and to appease their feelings. Okay, look, this is what it is. That person may not believe, everything is secondary. Your duty is to go and apologize, and if that person accepts or doesn't accept is different,
Mm-hmm.
but you have done your duty.
Mm.
So this is something which I have learned, from Bhagavad Gita, and that is what is really, keeping me very balanced, happy. Though it is easy to say, the Karma Yoga says that whatever you do, don't expect results. This is the karma theory.
Mhm.
But
Mm-hmm.
in reality, it is very easy to follow because you keep on doing what is to be done. Then it becomes a habit and
Mm-hmm.
secondary nature to you.
Right.
And I will guarantee you that in my life, there have been so many miracles where I have done something and double the thing has come back to me. And it
Mm.
has come from some other source. And
Mm-hmm.
something I did wrong, it did catch up on me and I was punished for it.
Mhm.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, the truth
Okay.
comes out.
So
Always
if
finds
you
you.
if you are
Mhm.
conscious of what your thoughts are, if you are conscious of what is happening in your life, then these principles are very true, and I have experienced them. And so many of your desires, so many things will get fulfilled. I'll give one simple example. I went to listen to one lecture. I was sitting in the second row, and that person who was speaking, he was a very reverend person. He was sitting over there. So I said, I wish I was sitting in the first row. I would have been on the eye contact with him. And you won't believe, moment the person speaker came, he said, "These rows are first row is too close. Please remove the first row."
Huh.
Huh.
So that way, lot of miracles have happened in my life. I tell you, so many things I give away,
Mm-hmm.
and double the things come in my house the next day.
Mhm.
I keep on giving gifts and I keep on getting gifts, and then I give them and then I get them. So
Mhm.
that cycle keeps on going on. So
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
if you really view your life very, very this, then you will realize, and this whole dissatisfaction of I am not getting my due will go away.
Mm.
Will go away totally if you
Mm-hmm.
are sensitive to what is happening around you. If you are sensitive, all this will go away, and that will make you happy forever.
Amazing. And I keep thinking you mentioned that concept of doing kind of an inventory at the end of the day,
Yes.
but then
Mm-hmm.
bookended with what you said earlier. When you get up in the morning, first thing you do is take care of your things for yourself,
Yes.
for
Mm-hmm.
your health, and check in and plan out the day. And then that keeps kind of that circular symbiotic
Correct.
together. That makes a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sense. All the more reason to be honest in every single thing you're
Yeah,
doing, like you said,
very
because
important.
then
Yes, very important.
yeah, because essentially what you're saying, it seems to me, is what gets in our way the most is ourselves.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true. I'm not getting my due. That is the biggest thought which bothers everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
did so much. Relationships go bad because I did so much for you. What did you do to me?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, you quit your job because I'm doing so much, but they are not giving me what I should get in return. So everywhere, this is the problem that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting my due.
Mm, man.
Yep. I mean,
Moment you diffuse that thought, you are happy.
mm-hmm. What you focus on is what
and
you
and and
embrace and
observe
become.
Mhm.
observe I am telling you, more you observe, you will find n number of instances where you are getting something which was not due to you, yet you got.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and everything may not be money. There could be appreciation, there could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It would just be a moment of joy.
Mhm.
Yep. Be
Yeah.
thankful for it.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, I think we have time for one more question. Do you have one you want to ask?
She covered a lot of what my questions
Covered a
were.
lot of what your question was. Okay, then I guess my last question here in the
Yeah,
last
you
few
have a
minutes we
question.
have
Go for it.
would be, you've traveled around the world. We've talked a lot today specifically about universal things for all people, regardless of where they come from, what their life experience is. Is there a big thing beyond what you've already talked about that perhaps a lot of people around the world are not doing, that if they could do it, if they started doing it, things would improve for themselves, for their communities, for their nations, for the world at large? Is there anything else that you haven't covered? Oh,
Of
we got
course,
3 minutes.
yeah. Okay.
So it's got to be
See,
quick.
I have traveled almost 50 countries with an objective to study their stock market systems, to study the payment systems. To study payment system, I went to South America, South Africa, Australia, China, and to study the stock market system, I went to most of Europe, to US, to Japan, and I was also on the SARC countries. I am the founder of the South Asian Federation of Exchanges.
Okay.
So very few people would have gone to Pakistan and wherever. Very few people would have gone, but I have been to those places. I think these thoughts of not having things and of being that I'm not getting my due, be it at individual level, community level, country level, everywhere. I think this is a problem which is there for everyone. Of
Mhm.
course, I cannot go and change the world, but definitely I can, to whatever people who interact with me, like you are interacting right now.
Right.
I can at least tell you, ki
Yeah.
boss, look at these principles. I have and it's not that I have learned, I must give a disclaimer that these things I have learned over a period of time. I have
Sure.
also been through that cycle of being unhappy, of not having things. I've been through all those things, but I have come out of it, and my experience says that these are the things which really makes you happy. And anybody practicing it at whatever level, be it the government, be it a community, or be it an individual, or a family, or an individual, at every level, it does work when you say that I have got more than I deserve, I have got more than I need. Only let me give to the world, and double will come to you.
Wow.
Wow.
What a message.
What a message and what a mic drop, as we can say right at the end. That was an amazing answer. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And thank you, Deena, for taking 2 hours out of your time
No problem.
to do this and to share that with our listeners. I know we got a lot out of it, and I know we're going to get a lot of feedback on all this. So thank you so much for being here, and enjoy your time.
Yes, I am.
In the country. That's great. That's awesome. All right. And thank you for listening or watching this episode of Staying Power. And remember, once again, if you missed any of this episode or you want to go back and listen to it again, I know I'm going to. You can get this as a podcast wherever you get your podcast. It's also on our YouTube channel. You can reach us at stayingpowershow@gmail.com or on our social media feeds. We'd love to hear back from you and get your feedback on this and any thoughts on what Deena had to say, because there's a lot there that I think is beneficial for everyone. And we will be back next week with another episode of Staying Power. I don't know how we're going to top this one. We're going to have our
We'll
work
figure
cut
it out.
Yeah, we're going to have to have our work cut out for us next week, but we're going to try. So join us then. Until then, I'm JD.
And I'm Ashley.
We'll see you then.
Thank you.